Guys? Mike with Off-Road Family Adventures. Another how-to video, and this is going to be a learning experience because today on my 2021 GTX 230 I am installing the ski module. It's also got the Xpackage module, both of them in there. My questions on this one is, it uses the diagnostic port. There's not a whole lot of instructions or videos on this, so I'm making one. It'll be two-part today and then tomorrow on the water to test it out. So I'll put all this together, then I'll edit the video. But this uses the diagnostic port, but I already have a depth finder in the diagnostic port, so figure out which way goes which. I think it's only one way, but I think the depth finder is going to go in here and then this into the diagnostic port, something like that. Anyway, here's how we do it. So here's my diagnostic port, and this right here is actually, this is from the ski. This goes back. This is my depth finder. So I'm going to unplug here, and so this is basically what you're. No, take that back. So that's the diagnostic port. So I got to unplug here. So this is the new one. It used to be like this. If your ski doesn't have a depth finder or anything, just standard with no options, this is gonna be plugged in here. So then your depth finder goes here. So I'm gonna put this in the middle of all this. So my big question here is, should this go here and this stay there, and then this plug into the ski module? That's the way I'm going to try it. So at least I'll have a video reference for if it doesn't work when I get on the water. I kind of know how to undo this and plug it in the opposite way. So yeah, that's basically what I'm going to do. I'm not going to plug this into there. I'm going to plug this into there, this into there, and I'm going to leave this plugged into the diagnostic port and cross my fingers. All right, so basically that's what I've done. Got it connected. I've still got to zip tie this into a good spot. I'll probably put it back over here. Check the gauge cluster real quick to see if my depth finder still works. All right, so it looks like that orientation works, because this button here is usually what you push to access your settings, your RPM, your depth finder if you've got one installed. Like right now we're on depth, and if I push this button, it's going to change it to speed stats, change it to RPM, settings, depth. So I'm not sure. I think we have to be running to access the launch control, but we'll figure that out tomorrow. It looks like that orientation works. I know there's a lot of misinformation out there, and people didn't know how to access their information on the cluster, and it's all done by this button right here. You can see, we'll push it. Yep. Yep, I run them out of fuel. Speed stat, settings, speed stat, RPM, settings, speed stat, RPM. All right, so it looks like I was right. I'll show you one more time on the orientation that I have. And this, again, guys, this is going to be if you have a depth finder installed. I'll show you the ways that it goes if you don't have a depth finder installed. But also, in order to access that X module information on the cluster, I'll show you right here. It's on your right handlebar, the left arrow. Push that. You can cycle between settings, RPM, depth, and speed stats. So I think you have to be in the water and running in order to access the launch control. Figure that out tomorrow when I get on the water. but here's how I have this done. So once again, if you're just plugged into the diagnostic port, you're going to plug directly from your ski, take it out of the diagnostic port there, which is right there in your coolant tank. You're going to plug it into the module, and then this would go back into your diagnostic port. But since I've got a depth finder, this is not going into my diagnostic into the coolant. It's going into the depth finder, which goes back around and then back out the depth finder into the coolant tank. So I'm gonna go ahead and zip tie this up since it seems to be working here. Get it all nice and neat, and that's it. And the second part of this video will be tomorrow on the water, showing the speed stats and the launch control. So I have not accessed that yet, but I think, like I said, I think you got to be running it in the water.